HE double hockey sticks, yeah, you have just clicked on this video, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Welcome to another WheezyNews video. I first want to give you a little bit of housekeeping, a little update. Yesterday I spent a lot of time on the Patreon page. The Wheezy Waiter Patreon page. I put a new welcome video up there. I changed around the perks, added a new one, the Wheezy Page of Preeminence, which will be a page of names on my website. The sequel to Slanted and Disenchanted comes out today, 7:30 p.m. It might already be out by the time you've watched this. The bloopers for it are going to go up on the Patreon page. That is enough housekeeping for now. I want to respond to a comment that is about something I talk about very often, or I have talked about in the past very often, and something I think about very often, and a problem I have dealt with. It's about feeling listless with creativity. This is JJ Keller, who wants to know, do you ever feel like you wanted to create something or do something but didn't really know what? I just feel listless. School is starting again soon, and it will take up my time, and I know I want to be a teacher in the future, but I also feel like I need some kind of creative outlet, and they end up just playing video games instead of doing something creative. First of all, being a teacher itself can be a very creative job, so don't discount that. I think that could be a rewarding creative job. I've never been a teacher, other than teaching people on the YouTubes. I know that it can be a creative job. The book I'm reading right now, Make It Stick, about creating ideas that are sticky, that stay in your mind, that are effective. They talk about teachers. They talk about examples of teachers doing certain things creatively to get students to understand things. Some are more successful than others. I recommend reading that book. That aside, you want to do other creative things. With regard to, say, writing a novel, painting, or making a video, whatever creative outlet you have. Cross-stitch, there are lots of them. I actually wrote this down. Sometimes I get some ideas and I just take notes. I use an app called Simple Note. When I just get ideas, sometimes I'll just type them up on there. And one thing I wrote a few days ago had nothing to do with your comment, just a piece of advice for myself, which was, think of all of your work as an experiment, not your masterpiece. When you go into something creative, think of it as an experiment. Think of it as, well, let's try this. Not, I've got it. I'm going to make my masterpiece, and the world will bow before me and hail me as their overlord of creative mastery because of the wonderful creation that I just made, which was the first thing I ever tried making, and suddenly it was an amazing masterpiece. The first thing you make will likely not be a masterpiece. It will be flawed because you're learning when you make things. You'll have a whole lifetime of experimenting. You want to make videos, or you want to make a movie. Your first movie is gonna be kind of crappy, probably. It might be pretty good, but it's gonna have flaws. You'll have a whole lifetime of making movies or writing novels or whatever to get good at it. And then maybe when you're like 75, be like, okay, now I'm gonna make my masterpiece. Now I know everything there is to know about this craft. Now it's time to make my masterpiece. Don't think you're gonna make your masterpiece when you first start creating. So that's one thing to do. Someone responded to your comment. I Like Mints responded, saying focus on quantity instead of quality. I've talked about this many times. That's what I did when I started making videos, and it was very useful. And I've said this before, quantity and quality are not mutually exclusive things. Quantity can lead to quality. Especially when you're starting out, focus on making more, because then you're gonna get better at it. Set limits. I've made a video about this as well. Set limits. I'm setting limits. I'm trying to make sure I make a video every day, or I skip a few days here or there on this channel, and I make them in the morning. It's the first thing I do in the morning. If I don't do that, if I'm like, well, I'll just put it off for later in the day, then I might not do it. So I'm setting a limit. I'm setting a schedule, a specific time to do it, and a specific amount of time that it takes to do it, specific format. No, I don't stop the camera. I just talk. I just have a conversation. And it's these limits that I just constantly hit every day And I think we're getting into a groove here with these videos. And I think because I'm doing this, because of the quantity, because of the limits, it's getting better. And I'm getting more and more proud of what's being made here. So quantity, focus on quantity over quality when you start. It's not your masterpiece. Set limits, focus on quantity. Stephen King is an example. He sets a limit for himself. He sets a routine for himself. He has to write at least 1,000 words a day. He does that every day without fail. That's his work ethic. At least 1,000 words a day. I think if you read Stephen King's novels, that's kind of how his stories can be kind of meandering. He doesn't know where the story is going when he starts it. He's learning as he goes. But because he does this 1,000 words a day, at least, all the time, his mind is always fresh, his creative juices are always flowing, regardless of his mood, regardless of whether he feels listless or not. If he makes sure that he does that 1,000 words, he can keep going. Creativity isn't always going to be easy. It's going to feel like work. You're going to often not even know what you're making. You're not going to know where it's going until you start. That's many of my videos have been like that. I took a few notes for this video, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to say. But because I'm sitting down and doing it, things are happening. And I'm surprising myself. What you might be doing is waiting for inspiration. You might be waiting for it to feel like time to create something. And then the feeling of playing video games or watching a movie or whatever is overtaking the feeling of inspiration. I made another video about how inspiration doesn't exist. I don't necessarily 100% believe that inspiration doesn't exist, but it was sort of a way to discourage people from sitting around waiting for some mysterious wind of creativity to hit them before starting to create, because that, the vast majority of the time, is not going to happen. Most creative people are not just sitting there being like, I got nothing. Where's my inspiration? Come here, come on, Inspi. That's the nickname for inspiration. Come here, Inspi. Where are you? And then suddenly they're hit with this amazing creative wind. They have a muse. They have this magical muse outside of them that touches them and no one else, that allows them to be more creative than other people. It doesn't work that way. It's work. It takes effort to start. Don't expect a creative wind to hit you. It may hit you at some point, but usually that'll happen when you are ready for it, when you are already creating, when you're open to new ideas and ready to use them. Don't wait for that. You have to start. Set a limit for yourself. If you don't know what you want to create, try something. And don't even expect it to be, don't expect it to be your masterpiece, so don't expect it to take long. Just try it for 10 minutes. Say 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I'm going to draw a picture. 10 minutes, I'm going to write a paragraph. Whatever, just start. What do you have to lose? 10 minutes? You're going to lose 10 minutes. You guess you won't make it to level 4-2 of Super Mario Brothers. I assume you're playing the original Super Mario Brothers on Nintendo. One last thing that I've made this video twice now. Nothing's original. Don't expect whatever you create to be brand new, to be something someone else has never done. That's a way to keep yourself from making something if you think, well, it's already been done. Don't worry about that, because nothing's original. Everything's based on something else. It will be yours, even if it's similar to something else. Some aspect of it will be yours. Don't worry about it being original. And that's it. Got real passionate there in this video because I've talked about this a lot, and I'm passionate about figuring out how to motivate myself and others how to create. Up until I started making these videos, I feel like it's something that I didn't realize. I had an epiphany some point when I was 27 when I started making videos, where I realized, wait, this isn't just going to happen. You have to start on your own. Since then, my life has been better. I've been happier, and since I've realized that, and it's a feeling that I try to convey with this kind of advice. I hope that's helpful. Check out my Patreon it's brand new now. Well, not brand new. There's still similarities with the old stuff, but there's a lot of new stuff over there now. And there's the subscribe button, and the new sequel to Slanted and Disenchanted over here. I worked very hard on it. I would appreciate it if you went and checked it out. And that is all. Thank you.